Hello and welcome to Gavra Racing's GT3 series here at Watkins, Glen. I am Cyphernote77,
I'm Dutch Musa,
and we're here to bring you live coverage of these guys as they go around famed New York track. I say famed New York track, but we have the Formula E track now, so give or take. So yes, we hope that no matter where you are in the world, you can join us and relax for, well, what's looking to be another spectacular day of racing from the best in the business. But 2 weeks ago, it was a surprising upset from the Nissan of Bowie, as he took the first win for that team and that group. And so, who knows, maybe we'll see another upset winner here today as well. It's definitely possible.
Johnny did seem to be going through the corners pretty well, and we've seen him be up there with a couple of the front runners, so maybe if he can minimize his mistakes, then we can see a good performance from him.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of drivers who have been near the front of the standings, just haven't quite had that breakout moment like Bowie did 2 weeks ago. Definitely Johnny being one of those people yet to score relatively decently in the past few races, but who knows, anything can change here at Watkins Glen, and usually things do pretty quickly. Now, this is my home track, so I should know the most about it, but truth be told, this isn't a personal favorite track of mine. I just know it really well.
Here, a couple of small mistakes could send you into the wall, like at that corner there, going wide will send you to that tie barrier there.
Yeah, there are plenty of interesting features about this track, whether it's the bus stop in the back straight, or even the unique Sector 3 to this part of the track that the NASCAR section skips. This track definitely has a lot to offer, definitely be quite a challenge for some of these guys, I think. Passing, I think, will definitely be somewhat of a difficulty around here.
There's no real straights and hard braking zones. There are very little also.
Right. But some other keynotes to take away from this, I believe, involve the point structure, as I'm correct, Dalavan, who has now boosted his way up into the championship hunt with his performances recently. And, despite, kind of having okay performances here and there, he's still sticking around the top of the standings.
I mean, he hasn't really had any start in his races, but he's definitely not been out of the top 5, except for maybe the first race.
Other than that, Kaz and Kev, obviously the two Audi drivers who would look to be the potential favorites heading into this season. While their performance did start out really well, it seems like after Long Beach they definitely have to reconsider how they're going to approach this next set of races. But I think definitely
it's just recuperating and just getting back out there, just racing.
True. I mean, we don't know how these guys are going to perform just yet. After all, I think the weather forecast is set for cloudy conditions, but I don't think any rain sighted in the vicinity. Once again, thank you to... Sorry,
Hugo.
Clearly we are still on track, as if nothing happened. I was going to say thank you to everyone who's joining us here, wherever part of the world you live in. We hope that you do stay safe, and that, well, it's better than watching a bunch of drivers going around on track anyways, because, well, it's not like they're doing that in real life, so better to do that on a video game.
Remember, stay home.
But while this is happening, as practice comes to a close, I will go look at the standings, actually. Just to kind kind of get a bit of a refresher. So yes, as I was saying, Kaz is actually your current points leader, standing on 69 points. Nice. Dalavan is currently sitting second at 63 points. And actually, no, wait, hang on. What?
I thank you for not breaking the law.
Hang on, I apologize for that. I made a mistake on that. You weren't there. I forgot to tell you that Dalavan actually won at Oulton Park.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did. You weren't there for that.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Either way, the points didn't really change too much. Kaz still actually leads with 87 points. Dalavan is actually back. He's 84 points, and it's Mike who boosted himself up to third with 71 points. So, Mike is actually... Yeah. Mike,
well,
yeah, a lot of us expected Hondax to kind of be the lead driver for that team, but he's definitely showing what he's got. So really good from the Mercedes driver himself. Mike definitely has 2 podiums to his name, yet to score a win though, and Hondax actually yet to score on the podium at all this season. I think it's just been a plethora of bad incidents that have kind of hindered that team.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a couple of where he's been caught up in other people's accidents or spun out at the end of the race, that sort of thing.
Another driver I'm kind of looking to see when they'll break out as Hondax goes for a small spin there. Let's say another driver wondering when they're going to break out is UV. Obviously he's in that second Cadillac, so he's kind of put under the same pressure that Dalavan is under right now. And like Hondax has had some good performances, has just kind of been caught up in other incidents as of late as well. Definitely 2 drivers also looking to make some sort of improvement is Razy and Flip Flip, who, I mean, you can't even count the number of incidents they've cumulatively had.
Yeah, they've just had bad luck after bad luck, and got a feel for them because they're both quick drivers, but if you can't show it, then there's also... No, it's not a great thing.
Of course, one of the stories leaving Long Beach was the top 5 of the Bentley of Joe Black. Jukebox obviously not wanting to be left out on that as well, so to see if he can put in any more good performances from the Bentleys. As well as also wondering when the Porsches will break out as well. There's basically just a lot of drivers just waiting to break out at some point. They just need that right track and right car combination.
Have the Porsches actually got any points yet?
I don't think so. They were in the top 10 at Long Beach before the final incident started to happen, but I think the Porsches are the only ones without a set of points on the board yet. But practice is now over. It is Dalavan from Mike and Johnny. So Cadillac, Mercedes, McLaren starting the top 3. But definitely looking from this, it's very difficult to tell who has the latent advantage at the moment.
The time splitting Johnny and Cass there was 4 thousandths of a second.
Of course, it is very much all to play for in qualifying, so would you rather go for more high-speed like setup or more downforce focused in the 3rd sector?
That's a hard one because you've got small straights with relatively fast corners, so downforce isn't really a big issue, but it's something that you have to keep in mind.
I mean,
but if you throw your wings all the way up, then on those small straights, you won't be able to keep up with some of the faster guys then.
I mean, obviously we've seen the downforce levels from cars like the Janetta and how kind of decently they take the corners compared to other guys, but definitely after Long Beach you gotta start looking at some of the I guess sort of the off-putting kind of cars, because we definitely did not expect Bowie to break out like he did, and especially run away from the pack at Long Beach. So there are definitely a lot of hidden mechanisms that these guys are still getting used to.
I mean, you can also just have that one setup and that one track that just absolutely clicks with you, and you're just absolutely lightning then. But you can also have the opposite, where you just can't get a setup, and that is one of the worst things, because the car just feels undrivable then.
Nice. Oh, gonna get the speedometer and stuff up.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so we'll likely go on board Razy to kind of see how the Watkins Glen track actually is. So we're gonna go down the front straight. Have to prepare yourself for the sort of off-camber turn 1, brake all the way down to 3rd, even 2nd gear. And make sure, let's pick up the Mercedes mic in the wall there. Especially when you go uphill, this is always a very tricky part, especially for strange gear ratios. So it'll definitely be very interesting to see which drivers are going to be maximizing their top speed throughout this section. And then they have to be very careful, brake near around the 300-meter board. And Razy gets through really flawlessly to the bus stop. And then around here also to make sure you keep up the speed. Actually he's able to take it in 4th gear, which is really impressive. Makes you not to drive too far off the curb and then have to set themselves up for this downhill left-hander. It's very easy to run wide, so have to keep their foot in as much as possible. Very close from Razy. And make sure to brake to around 3rd gear around this quarter. Once again, make sure not to run wide, although you have a little bit of relief there on the edge. And then this turn is pretty deceptive, as you have to brake a lot more than you think you do. It's very sharp. Around 2nd gear, you have to brake. And once again, make sure not to run too far off the curb. This can upset the car. Then you have to make sure the car doesn't get upset an uphill left-hander. The back tires like to get a little bit light around that section. And this is somewhat full throttle. The Genettas can handle it. But this last turn, you have to be very careful to brake a little bit more than usual. Make sure not to go too much in the wall like Razy did right there. Although I think he'll be still okay. Razy across the line, sets in a 1:45.4.
I'm surprised his time didn't get validated.
Kev behind him just sets a 1:45.1, so that hit in the wall did cost him some time. And then Johnny goes even faster, sets a 1:43.2. So the McLaren looking the fastest of the bunch. It's about time the McLaren started looking fast again. There, I had to throw in the F1 jab. While UV and Toby both set in times. Ooh. Sorry, you were saying?
Actually, yeah, it's been a long time since McLaren have done actually good.
Kev also now, Dalavan up now into 2nd place, 1:44.1. He's across the line, so both the Cadillacs doing okay so far. Actually, the highest dual manufacturers as it stands. Kev in the Audi is in 3rd and raising the Genettas 4th. Toby in the other Nissan stands 6th. And right now, as it stands, Mike and Bauer, the only two who haven't set in representative times, as we're already halfway done with qualifying. And it seems like time just flew by on that one lap alone.
I mean, it's a relatively long lap.
So we'll see as a couple more drivers come across the line. I believe Razy had an improved time, but I don't see, I think that was Kev. As Hondax now boosts himself up as well, knocking Razy and UV down. Or excuse me, just the UV Razy. Kobe across the line. He's been bumped down to 8th as well. Not able to go faster, stays in 8th. Mike boosts himself up finally now, so he's up into 4th place. So a lot of drivers finally starting to get their rhythm. Dalavan goes even faster with the 1:43.1. So he's putting in a really good run for this championship. Has another one of the contenders, actually points leader, sits 3rd right now with a 1:43.5. Johnny has been knocked down to 2nd, although it's not too far off, only a 10th. Ooh, Kev, just getting there in Sector 3. It's Razy coming through right now. Razy hasn't had the greatest races when he starts pretty deep in the pack, so we'll see if that changes today, if he can change his qualifying efforts, and maybe even his race efforts. The small mistake earlier in the run, but it looks like it's a clean run this time. Is he going to improve from 7th place? Not quite, still 2/10 off. No improvement from Hondax either, I believe. Kaz very close to that wall, using all the real estate.
It is free indeed.
Too free, if you ask me. Kaz has dropped down to 4th. However, not an improvement. Mike actually makes an improvement because he's up into 2nd. So Johnny not able to improve from 3rd. Joe and Daza have decided to call it quits for now. Bowie's still at the bottom of the leader standings right now. So winner 2 weeks ago, currently sitting 13th. He's likely on another fast lap. I think Gavra Racing and Flip, who were to appear today, are going to be able to get on track in time. Have to wait and see on that. Hondax decided to call it quits. UV as well. But right now the top 3 only separated by under 2/10. Bowie is starting to pick up the pace as well. See, the car actually just got really light there. The back tires of the Nissan kind of almost got away from him. Even just kind of being on the curb there can really upset the car as well. Ooh, he's lucky to get away with it. Yeah, I didn't
Oh, he
think...
didn't?
Yeah, I was gonna say it was gonna be hit or miss if they were gonna let him get away with it. It looks like Bowie was not exempt from the track limit, so he will start last in this race. So it'll be quite the effort from him. Kaz across the line, can he get an improvement? And he does. It's 5/10 quicker, and he is the current pole sitter. But then immediately gets pit by Johnny once again, who goes into the 1:42 range. So McLaren once again flexing its qualifying muscle. Obi looking to get even further up on the grid. No, he sticks 10th. So everyone in the top 3 has called it quits. Only a few drivers still left out there. Box looking to elevate himself inside the top 10. Daza also done with qualifying. He sits 12th. Right now, Jukebox, Freezy, and Mike are the only drivers left on track. Jukebox comes around the last turn. I think they'll let him get away with it. Across the line, no improvement. Freezy looking to elevate himself out of the mid-pack. See if he can get any further up the field. And no improvement there, and it looks like that is it for qualifying. So as it stands, it is Johnny, Kaz, and Dalavan, your top three. McLaren, Audi, Cadillac. Then Mike fourth, Honda's fifth, Razy sixth, Kev seventh, UV eighth, Joe ninth, Toby 10th, Jukebox 11th, Dazza 12th, and Bowie 13th. Alright, I know I've messed up the race introductions 4 times in a row, but I have a new strategy this time. Since I
Yeah.
can't seem to remember the car manufacturers, I'm just gonna do it individually. I think that'll work out. Once again, all the drivers must remember to start with 70 liters of fuel. Any infractions of that will have to be taken up with the FIA, GIA, whatever you want to call it. So, with further ado, let's get on through the field. So Johnny starting in a precarious first position, although this isn't the first time he started up front. We'll see if he can continue his good string of qualifying and hopefully turn it into a win today. Kaz, the points leader, starts second in that Audi. We'll see how his hopes hold up today as he fights Dalavan, the current second in the championship, only 3 points behind, so it's very close between those two. Mike in the Mercedes looking to get his first win. He's got 2 podiums. Can he make it 3? Honda's behind him, doesn't have a podium, so he's looking to outpace his teammate here today. Razy just looking to get the consistent numbers back on board today. We'll see how he can do it from 6th place. Kev, Cass's teammate, you know how big of a rivalry those two have, so maybe Kev can catch up to his teammate later in this race. UV starts 8th, so pretty far back from his teammate, although he can definitely put in the good performance as well. Joe scored a top 5 2 weeks ago. We'll see if he can do it again. Toby starts 10th, pretty far back, but far is never the way to think about it. Just gotta say, you gotta put in a little bit more effort. Jukebot starts 11th, just behind his teammate. Daza starts 12th, still looking for those good points for Porsche. And Bowie 2 weeks ago was our race winner. He will start 13th. Rubert and Flip looks like will not be able to make it for the starting grid, leaving us at 13 racers. Bam! Nailed it. So we're now on the grid. For red lights, so the second stretch of the Gavra GT3 series, and we are away. Johnny looks to get away decently from Kaz. Dalavan looks to go down the inside of Kaz going into turn 1. Looks like that Cadillac will beat the Audi into turn 1. Razy looks to settle in just behind the Audi. That's Kev, who sits right there behind the Mercedes of Honda, just behind them as they're side by side going up the first chicane. Oh, that looked like a Janetta almost being pushed into the wall. That looked like Razy, although it looks like he keeps it together. They're still side by side, Razy and Yubi. At the inside, that's Toby looking to make his move. Not going to be able to do it. They settle back in line, as it looks like it is all calm. Actually, the Mercedes of Hondax and Kev going side by side. Coming out of the bus stop, Kev able to make that move around the outside and puts him up into 5th. You know, up front it is Johnny getting away from Dalavan and Kaz. You just see the cold tires there. The cars sort of started to get away from them. Ooh, behind them, I think that's Bowie or Razy. Someone had a small incident because they'd fallen way back. It is Razy. He's had a little bit of damage there. He's falling way back and almost hits into the back of the Nissan there.
I think this will be a nod again.
Yes, so again, the Janetta's having problems mid-race. I'm not sure what caused it. It looked like there was a small incident. Maybe he got sideways and someone tagged him. Not really sure. You know, further up front, though, there's still battling going up ahead. But now the field actually, more or less, the field kind of got through the first turn without incident. Stands Mike now trying to catch up to the back of Kaz. as Dalavan, with his start, was able to get Kaz off the line, so this will be a net gain for Dalavan, who might even be tied on the points championship if things stay the way they are. Looks like that Mercedes has really good speed. He's catching up to the Audi even before the bus stop. Kaz just able to get through pretty good, although Mike already has a time penalty, so maybe for track limits, you need a 1 second time penalty. So the field already pretty spread out actually. Kev and Hondax just behind there in the background. So in terms of starts, this is more or less the best possible start that Johnny could have gotten, although he's not been the most consistent when it comes to keeping these starts. He does have a charging Dalavan right behind him.
He is actually pulling away from Dalavan though, so he's doing everything he needs to do right now to get a win.
But it really has been quite a while since we've seen a dominant Mercedes or McLaren car. Maybe today will be the day. I just jinxed it, didn't I? Ooh, Dalavan actually almost hits the wall there in the background.
I think I'll have to get my phone notes up.
Yeah, the drivers are definitely testing the limits of how much they can get away with. Of course, they'll really be pushing the limits out of the left side, going through that last corner. Definitely the right side, just outside of the bus stop chicane. Well, though, it's a bit of damage to Joe, and actually a bit of damage to Toby as well. I wonder if those two have made some sort of contact, because Joe is actually slowing down really. I wonder if he's spun and had some contact with someone.
Maybe.
Further up ahead, it is Yuvi catching up to Hondax, and Bowie, who started in 13th, he's made his way up to 8th. Ooh! In there, I think, is that Hondax? What a small slip into the wall there? I'm just seeing things.
I think it might have been a little bit easy.
I see a little bit of paint, so maybe I'm not entirely crazy. Other than that, though, it seems like the race is still progressing relatively smoothly, which could argue this has been the best start of the season so far in terms of the number of incidents.
You see that smoke?
Yeah, that was a strange place to burn rubber. Sounds like he was trying to pick up the gas, but the car wouldn't let him there. Looks like Joe is... Yeah, so... It looks like the good run has already come to an end for Joe as he pits from 10th place. While Bowie's still continuing his charge. But definitely quite interesting that the field has split this much so early, actually. Well, I didn't expect them to be so close. I didn't expect them to sort of be single file like this. I don't know, Watkins Glen is just weird like that. Maybe I haven't watched enough IMSA races.
Well, now you've got all the time in the world.
Either way, I could probably go on board Bowie to see just how much is closing into UV ahead of him. And see where the missing can pick up the pace compared to the Cadillac. Closed up a lot throughout the corners. I think UV kind of having an issue when it comes to the traction of that Cadillac. You definitely see Bowie just able to get on the gas a lot quicker than UV. even there, it's kind of overstepping on the curb limits. That usually upsets the traction system in these cars since they don't have the options to use them. So we'll see if Bowie is going to make the move on Yuvi down to turn 1. Not quite. Yuvi might have overstepped it a little bit. Just keep ahead. The full lap was the 1:42.9, I believe.
Yeah.
So that was the full. Let's put in the chat. Still on the very back of Yuvi, almost touching it, although Yuvi runs very wide there, actually, in the curb and on the dirt somewhat. That makes it very easy for Bowie to go around the outside, and we will get that move done. So Yuvi right off the bat kind of losing pace compared to everyone else. A little further up the field, Kaz is starting to put in the decent times actually. He's actually currently the fastest man on track in that Audi. Just noticed the slip of the tires there and has spun it just in front of Yuvi. On board, I felt that the car was kind of getting really loose there, and it looks like it was true. Just kind of put on the power too early there. Seems like the scenery hasn't changed much. We switched from looking at the back of a Cadillac to looking at the back of another Cadillac. But Kaz's times have been improving, so he's starting to find that pace. Did you hear that downshift in the alley? That was...
I must say, Johnny's actually been able to keep a pretty stable buffer between him and the Velvet.
And before something happens, as this usually works out.
Knock on wood, boys. Knock on wood.
I think it's already too late. Either way, I never really mentioned who we were placing our bets on for this race. Well, I think it's still too early to call it right now.
Yeah, if you wanted these guys to make a mistake, that's going to drop down the field quite a bit.
I think we're starting to see the after effects of the DNS server looking out on us. Starting to affect the chat too. You know, that is a good point. Why do you have a race in New York when, you know... I'm not saying there's conspiracy or anything involved, but... You know, plays pretty high in a certain COVID virus. And it just so happened to be a 2-week time span. Am I the only one who's, like, just conspiring on that?
What? That we're still holding a New York Grand Prix and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not our fault that New York was so unprepared.
Oh, well, thanks for that. Yeah, thanks. I didn't say anything to you. You just kind of hit me with all guns a-blazing. Either way, it's still a very close margin. So we're all within 2 seconds of each other, so it's still very much anyone's game. Even Mike is trailing a little bit behind.
Other than hit such a good there.
Cadillacs have been kind of starting to drop off a little bit on the longer stretches. The Audi has sort of been able to keep up and start to capitalize a bit. But now that the race is starting to spread out a little bit more, I thought I had something to talk about, but I guess it just kind of looped from my mind. I swear I had something to talk about, but maybe that's just me.
I mean, most of the motorsport's dead now anyways.
Yes, but you don't have to say it like that.
I mean, it's true.
You gotta give inspiration in times like these. We're the only form of entertainment on the airwaves right now that actually is worth watching.
Ooh, shots fired to MTV.
What, everything is just repeats now.
That is actually genuinely true. Then nothing new can be shown.
I don't suppose anyone else is looking through Netflix now, are they? I assume everyone here has already gone through the entirety of Netflix and or Disney Plus.
Netflix is gone. I've seen everything.
So that's what I'm saying. Everything is just a bunch of repeats, even sports and race replays are all repeats. So this is why we're the new form of entertainment.
I mean, F1's doing the mod music not the Bahrain GT, not the Australian GT.
Yeah, but who wants to see professionals go around a racer? These guys are way more entertaining.
These guys are so much more unpredictable.
Yes. It's the psychology of it at work. You'd rather see Well, I studied psychology.
Exactly.
I was going to go into professional psychology before I got dragged away to commentate race videos. So I know everything about driver psychology. I mean, I've been racing this series, so I think I know a thing or two. All I'm saying is, it's our job to put on the best in entertainment now, because everything else is offline.
That is true.
Meanwhile, we cut back to looking at the back of another Cadillac. It seems to be a trend this race.
The Cadillac GP.
That's a throwback. Wow, he's still fighting really hard. I mean, he did get in front of Yubi, but Yubi is actually still able to fight back pretty well.
But Yubi played it clever, like just holding it around the inside.
And even still, he's actually able to make the move, although Bally looking to switch back on him. Just be careful he doesn't lose it in the same place he did before. Almost did. The car just gets so light around that area that it's really difficult to put the power down early. Right, this is the current battle for 7th. Just behind them, those two are fighting for 9th. You can definitely see he's probably going to try to make the move up the S's. He is going to try to make the move. Side by side through the S's, very close. Yugi shuts the door on him though. Bally has to go around the outside, although Yugi blocks him there. I don't think he'll be able to make the move in the bus stop. Something tells me the car is too wide to do that. Oh, Yubi lets him through on the outside. He's gonna get around the outside out of the bus stop. He is. Slight bit of contact. But Bowie is actually able to hold it. A very nice move indeed. So once again, Bowie up into 7th place.
Now he just has to hold it. Nice actually. Cab.
Meanwhile, while all this is happening, Kaz is actually falling off the, so he's had an incident of his own. Because now Mike is in third place. Nah, I don't think it's damage. I think he just spun somewhere. Ooh, speaking of spun, Kev in the background. He almost put it in the wall there.
Got damage. That's got damage.
Does he?
Oh no, it's just how the hood looks. A little bit of his hood was popped up, but no, it's just how it looks.
Yeah, that's just how the car looks.
It's not a phase mom. That's how it looks.
There's some kind of car meme involving that. I can't recall at the time now.
Oh wait. Okay, you better get this. Howdy.
It's not as simple as Audi, is it?
it's just Audi with an H in front of it. Howdy.
Clearly providing the greatest in entertainment.
You came for that one.
You came here for low funny jokes from two guys who came to the right place.
I had to log into my iFunny account for that one.
Not even Reddit.
Nah, dude, everyone knows iFunny is where all the best jokes are.
Okay. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, Jukebox has caught back up to Toby. This is battled for 9th place. That's actually falling way back from these two.
Johnny's actually shooting away from Gavra.
Toby's got a little bit of backward rear damage action out of this. I wonder if someone's hit him in the back, actually.
Maybe that will serve the joke, because
perhaps. Also, while this is happening, Bowie does have some sort of time penalty. 1 second from him. Just a little bit. I was still able to keep the speed of this. I think they definitely have one of the faster cars on this track. Yeah, you want to go full throttle to the S's, but some of the setups may not allow that. It really just depends, really.
Oh, that's... You'll have to break down. You can see the ends to slow down. Just hold the inside.
Yeah. Even still, I think Jukebox has got the faster line. It's just really difficult to pass Wilson right now. No, actually, while all this is happening, I forgot to mention that even though Racing pitted early, it's still not out of it on the technicality, because that means he's just already made his pit stop for the day. Yeah, he can go to the end, so Crazy is definitely not one to count out just yet.
I mean, as long as he can just keep his pace up, his fitness is too good.
Yeah. Definitely needs to have the pace of the leaders in order to make sort of comeback from something like that. But was able to do something similar to that, just kind of in a different begat the tuna. Jukebox now down the inside of Toby out of turn 1, so Bentley side by side with the Nissan. Looks like, and he does get through. so Jukebox up to 9th.
Oh, wait, what happened there?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, happened there? I think I might just fix that a little bit. Anyways, Johnny's actually got a 4-second gap.
Yeah, the pace of Dalavan is definitely starting to slow up just a bit. I think the Cadillac's sort of lacking that long run pace, like I said. But even still, Dalavan's actually still pulling away from Mike, though. And Kaz hasn't been able to catch back up to Mike, so I think just a lot of similar pace is going on here. I think because everyone is so similar on times in the 145 range, it's really hard to get any sort of advantage on anyone.
Yeah, if you want to start catching up, you have to be in the 44s.
Well, Bowie's still only up into 7th, although he is actually running some faster times. Close to the leader's time, actually, so we should be able to catch up to Kev very soon. Of course, one thing we always have to look at is whether the driver takes fuel only or tires on their pit stops. That always is a decisive factor in these races. As you've seen in the past, normally fuel only is the way to go, but of course you don't know how much these drivers are pushing the tires. Some may be pushing more than others.
I mean, we have had where people win on tires. I think it was actually the first race, very first race, where I don't know who it was, but he pitted a little bit earlier with tires as well, and actually won the race. I think it was Cats. But anyways.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think for a minute. Bally actually sets one of the faster lap times of the day. It's at a 1:44.5, so he's definitely, I'm pretty sure, the fastest car on track right now.
But yeah, he's actually not catching up that much in relation to John.
Well, Johnny is running just about the same time. It's only a relatively slight difference, and I mean they are seconds back. But meanwhile, while all this is happening, Jukebox is into the pits. She comes in pretty early, all things considering, actually. So this looks like it'll just, it'll just be a regularly scheduled stop for him. While all this is happening, have you actually watched the esports races that you were talking about earlier?
I watched a little bit of them, but yeah, to me the problem is if you don't have people that you can really root for, then it's a little bit boring.
So the difference here is that we all have people that we root for.
Yeah, but I mean, I was rooting for Cyanide because he's quite funny, and I liked his videos, especially the Soviet Womble. But I don't know if you know who either of those two are.
Yeah, a little bit.
But Cyanide got taken out first lap, so. Or I don't know if he got taken out, or if he took someone else out and died in the process. Oh, sorry, he got game ended in the process. You can't say the D word.
I don't know, I was gonna say, like, because obviously F1's not the only one that's kind of doing that. It seems like just about every major sport is doing something esports related now.
I mean, they have to keep the views up. I mean, if F1 just stops completely, that's no money coming in. Whilst they still have a lot of wages and stuff to pay, so at least by doing this, they can still get sponsorship money, that sort of thing, even if it is reduced. They can at least get some kind of income in.
Well, they were talking about the shortened schedule now because, well, I mean, half the season is practically going to be gone by the time they get any sort of thing running back up.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of weird to just like start the F1 season halfway through.
Yeah, but I think for them now, the stakes are too high to call the entire season. Because, I mean, and the 2021 regulations are not going to come in 2021 anymore, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit disappointing with that, but at the same time, the teams have actually got their cars set up now for the 2020 regulations, and it's a bit, not nice of a thing to do to say, yeah, all of your hard work's for nothing, build a new car.
True. But like, where do you think would be appropriate to kickstart things, like after the spring break?
It depends on how bad the corona whole thing is, because if they're planning on starting it at Canada like they are now, it could still be a bit hit or miss in terms of USA. It sounds weird, but two are right next to each other.
Ooh, right there. Is that Kaz? That is Kaz.
That's Kev, Cass, and Bowie. Both all in that together.
Kaz must have spun. Was that Bowie who collided with him?
Yeah, and Kev hit Bowie.
So Kaz must have spun there by himself. It's kind of a strange incident. It kind of just switched cameras and he just happened to be there.
Yeah, I think that happened to Bowie as well.
But very unfortunate for Kaz. He was running up in 4th, although, I mean, he is the points leader. I should be acting more surprised. I was kind of just taken aback by how quickly that all was.
I mean, yeah, it was 1 minute everything was fine, and the next minute Cass was facing the wrong way.
Yeah, this is why we watch, for the unpredictability. But it looks like Kev is into the pits now early for his damage. Bowie actually staying out, and Kaz will...
look at that.
Yeah, the shields, or window shield.
I think Bowie's going to hit that control, but yeah.
UV's in as well. I think he's just in for his regularly scheduled pit stop. But yeah, as I was saying, this is definitely going to hurt Kaz, because he's going to lose the point standings now to roughly Dalavan, and even Mike now.
Yeah, this is going to hurt the Audi team as a whole now.
Yeah, so both Audi drivers in for damage and their scheduled pit stops. UV, I think...
Price doesn't go for tires, though. Because you're in for a long time, you might as well lose the extra 3 seconds now.
Kev
maybe
is,
gain that plus more time later on.
Kev is already out and away, so I don't think he repaired his damage. Either that or it
might
wasn't...
have got a little bit of repair.
Yeah. He was definitely out and about before UV, so... And it looked like UV didn't take tires either. So this is all played out... It's all played out very strangely, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think our top 3 is almost set as well with graphics. Don't think anyone's touching them for a while.
So now Kev behind Toby in this one. I believe Toby hasn't pitted yet, so it's Kev around the outside and away there. Crazy now.
I think Kev's okay, they didn't that.
Well, that's right. What I thought, because he was pretty out and away.
Or when he drove past, you could see his windows there.
But I was gonna say for Razy now, he's back up into 9th because Kaz is out behind him. He's still now found his way a lap down, so it's definitely gonna be waived for all the guys near him. It'll be interesting to see when the top 3 decide to pick, because they're all really close together still. Actually, Kev and Toby still very close as well. And while this happening as well, the 2 Bentleys converging on each other as Kaz is now out in 10th. So there is still quite the gap. Kaz can make it up, although he's got quite work ahead of him.
Did Kaz repair this?
I think he did. Yeah. Still not 100% sure what happened, but I think he just kind of spun and got collected by a few different people. Kaz making hay for the leaders in front of him. I think that's Mike. Hondax, excuse me. He's definitely putting pressure on those who haven't pitted yet. Of course, there isn't like a thing where you have to let them go. It just comes down to if you're faster, then you just pass. So Hondax really has no obligation to let millions through.
I hope we don't have a Ocon for Saturn here. Ooh. That is not the ideal racing.
Yeah, in a moment through the bus stop there. Yeah, with 25 minutes to go, all these drivers are starting to look towards pitting, as now Toby is into the pits. For 7th, that's the Porsche getting out of the way there. So this means Razy will likely pass Toby as well, as he's in the pits. So he's going back up into 8th place. I think Yuvi is the last driver on the lead lap as it stands, so he's just kind of got...
He's already pitted.
Yeah, ooh, as you see that, he spins outside the bus stop. It's kind of a strange place to spin, though. Bowie is now into the pits from 5th place.
Back to saying about F1. I mean, when do we think it will start? Because I think it's a bit of an optimistic date for starting everything back up, but
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
In honesty, I won't be surprised if it's actually just, called the entire season, but at the same time, they need their monies.
Well, doesn't everyone? So while this Kev actually is able to stay ahead of Bowie, actually managed to make a pretty decent gap, so I think it's pretty safe to assume that Kev didn't repair his damage, at least fully.
Will that cost him later on, though? I think that's the question of the hour.
Wow, I knew this moment was coming, that both the Bentleys have converged together, so... It'd be only natural that we'd show this.
The weekly events. The mishaps of the Bentleys.
I mean, come on, at this point they're pretty much the fan favorites.
I do actually really like the brake lights. It looks like a little lane right like that. This one. Look there.
Only you would notice something like that.
I think you
But other than that, the field's still relatively close, although there are a lot of drivers still yet to pit. I suspect that maybe even Johnny and Dalavan will wait until the very end to pit. It's been relatively smooth and calm for these guys at the top three. But clearly
stop dropping his pace.
really high, should know better than anyone else that doesn't have to stay calm forever.
I mean, well, he's at lower fuel than everyone. I would at least try and push, make the best of that low weight to do what he does.
So all this has happened, UV, has he spun again? Because he's lost a lot of time. I was actually passed by Razy while this was happening. Oh, yeah, he does have damage. UV has collided with something. He has a lot of damage. Well, we don't know if it was a wall.
I'm just thinking it's more than likely that it was a wall.
I'm saying we don't know that. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, Johnny is into the pits now. UV will likely come into the pits as well.
Wait, Honda's pitted?
No, Honda's didn't pit yet.
Yeah.
Top three have yet to pit. I think they're the only ones left who haven't pitted. Incorrect.
Yeah, and Johnny's moving now. He's going to stay way ahead of Kev.
Let's assume he can get out and still put in some good lap times. Johnny's actually coming out in quite a huge batch of lap traffic. Oh, what you do have a spin. Is that Honda's?
That is Bowie.
Bowie. Yeah, Bowie spun again in the same area. I don't know if he's acquired more damage from that. But Nissan definitely looks a little bit worse for wear. Ooh.
You see he's moving a little bit to the left, straight, to steer a little bit to the right.
Well, Bowie is currently in 6th. He's pretty far ahead of Razy, but if Bowie has to pit as well, this could move Razy up into 6th place.
Steer against the car. Yeah, you see that?
Yeah, a little bit.
It could just also be all set up.
Mike is now into the pits. Johnny's still got a bit of lap traffic ahead of him, so he's not entirely safe just yet. And now with Mike into the pits, looks like it'll just be a gas and go for him. So now the only one left who hasn't pitted is Honda's.
And Dalavan.
Okay, Mike's still in there for quite some time. I wonder if he took tires.
Maybe a little bit of damage.
He does have the time to do it, but he's definitely not going to catch Johnny if he took tires. He will get out in front of Kev.
Because Dalavan and Honda's have still got a pit, so maybe he's hoping to catch Dalavan and get some quick timings.
While all this is happening, Kaz has a penalty now too. Most likely for track limits. 2 seconds. So he's actually trying to chase down Razy. The two of them aren't too far away from each other. Let's see, is Dalavan is gonna come in now. Actually, it looked like a really late decision. It was a late decision because he has a speeding penalty.
Oh, Dalavan. That's not so good.
It looked like he thought about it, and then at the last minute, because he definitely braked way too late.
Yeah, he had 4.6 liters, and I don't know if he was gonna make it. And I don't think he was sure either. It's not like wow.
Yeah. So with that penalty, Dalavan has been hit with 10 seconds, and this is Johnny coming through right now, so he'll be way far ahead, actually. Mike is too far back. He might be challenging Hondax, but Dalavan is in fact going to get out in second place.
But this will actually maybe get oh, this looks to be close between the two boys.
Yeah, because Mike took tires, and Hondax is just now coming through, so they'll practically be side by side on exit, just a little bit actually, and Hondax has jumped out in front of Mike in the pit stop cycle. Mike on the fresher tires, looks like Hondax is going to let him through. However, Mike still has the time penalty, so Hondax is actually still de facto podium.
But if they bump draft each other now, they can make sure that they can keep within that 10 seconds of Dalavan. And just make sure that they both get into the podium.
True, because they are actually... Dalavan is on the cusp of losing the podium. He could go all the way down to 4th if he can't keep up his pace. But with this, I believe all the pit stops are complete. I think now it's just up to Razy and Kaz, who I think are... I think the last one's on the lead lap, correct. Bowie is definitely... Actually, no, they're on the lead lap too. But they're closing in on each other. And while all this has happened, Yuvi has fallen all the way back to 12th with his incident.
Yeah, he's pitted twice now, so that'll cost him a lot of time.
But no issues from Johnny as he continues to lead this Watkins Glen GP. Just 15 minutes to go. Dalavan, on the other hand, has his work cut out for him, actually. He's gotta find a way to pull 10 seconds, but Mike does have fresher tires. So you could still beat Hondax, though. Meanwhile, Hondax still...
big enough gaps.
Yeah, Hondax still looking for his first podium of the season. So, he's definitely within range.
This could be it, but yeah, Hondax will have to pick up the pace a bit.
Meanwhile, Kev behind them has sort of been on their own for a lot of this time, really. As well as Bowie, kind of been in a world of their own. And there's actually Kaz and Razy. Kaz is actually catching up just a bit. He's actually managed to get on the back of Razy. Still showing really good pace in the rally despite being this far back. He's actually able to get around the outside, a very daring move. Actually really close, actually got Razy a little bit loose, but Kaz was able to do it around the outside. Razy not going to let it go just yet. She's still able to fight back. And with that top speed of the Ginetta, I never thought I'd see the day a Ginetta outsped anything.
Nevertheless, the Audis.
Maybe that's what's keeping him ahead, and I think Kaz is the better downforce, though.
What a topsy-turvy world we've entered.
I don't think I've been in this road since 2015. Oh, the McLaren Honda days.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's still not over just yet. Kaz still putting up a fight around the outside, backs off from Razy. He'll definitely does seem like Kaz is the better downforce, so he's not out of it just yet. Well, all this is happening, Hondax has lost a bunch of time, actually. He's nowhere even close to his teammate anymore.
I think he's spun. He's got damage. He's spun. Bumped up again.
Because Kev is now catching him really quickly, so he might just be nursing. Yeah.
Got damage.
Yeah, Hondax might be nursing this home. So I have to wait and see. Razy and Kaz still going at it though. I don't think it's anything suspension worthy. I don't think he's turning the wheel.
I'm not sure.
But he definitely is nursing some kind of problem.
And if it's heavy on suspension, it's heavy aero damage that can cost him around the corner.
Well, I was thinking because I was thinking he got it when he came out of the pits. But that might just be me. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Kaz still keeping up a lot of pressure on Razy. Gonna challenge him around the outside. Razy shuts the door. Keeps him on the outside. Oh, while all this is happening, Johnny actually has a plane now. Track limits. 1 second.
I don't think that's going to be a problem with Delavan.
You never know sometimes. We've seen wackier penalties. Well, I only say that because Delavan's actually starting to keep up with Johnny.
Yeah.
He's gonna get any closer if you try.
I think that's one thing that we see, you know, catching up on this circuit. These cars is one thing, but passing is totally different beast.
Oh no! I think Razy got loose and Kaz just happened to be there. I think they're both in a really awkward spot for the camera. I think you have to go on board. Look for them hard impact into the wall. And I don't even know who you put the blame on that.
Yeah, that was sort of...
Oh, Razy's
yeah, that was
lost his
definitely
rear
more
wing.
Razy's fault. But, yeah, Razy... it's just a racing incident. Razy got a little bit loose, and Cat was where Razy wanted to correct to, so... And, you know, if Razy didn't correct, he'd have collected Cat anyway, so... That's one of those things. It was just unavoidable.
Meanwhile, Bowie's right there, and that's actually the leader there as well. So, or not Bowie, Toby, excuse me. So, those are the last guys on the lead lap. So it's going to be a very strange situation. So now Razy's got his damaged wing. Kaz has already gone on through. Now it's just Toby looking to get into 8th place. And then Toby's still got Joe not too far behind. Joe is actually just behind this, the leader and Dalavan.
It's such a shame for Razy though.
Yeah, he was catching back up. It really only took a mistake at the wrong time. I mean, Kaz was definitely going to try to make the move around the outside. I don't think there's any way he could have noticed Razy's sudden shift back to the left. It's kind of a cost.
Yeah, but you know, Kaz did also, you know, try and go off track to make the move, so that's going to be a tricky one for the stewards.
I think all this lap traffic is actually really starting to hurt Johnny because Dalavan's starting to catch up a bit.
Yeah, he's on 3 seconds already. He's went for the last 8 minutes of the race.
Mike is also not, well, I don't think he'll be able to catch either of these two, though. He's definitely starting to put in some of the fastest times of the day.
John, he did put in a couple of 44s, so actually Bowie doing the same now.
So Toby actually not giving up the spot just yet. He wants to try to catch Kaz, is just in front of him. And while all this is happening, this is actually slowing up the leader's pace just a bit. Every little bit. Actually, I say that because does Kaz have the same penalty he did from earlier? Or no, it's now Bowie who has a penalty. Actually, Kaz's penalty has increased too, so this actually is a very important fight. So Bowie has 3 seconds, Kaz has 4 seconds, so Toby can actually catch and pass Kaz if he doesn't speed it up. So it was very crucial for him whether he gave up the spot or not to Johnny.
I mean, if Johnny catches up with Kaz as well, then I think it's pretty much game over for Kaz. It's his championship for a small while. You know, this is going to be a very big hit to him, but I don't think it'll do all too much in terms of setting him behind Mike and Dalavan.
So I thought I figured.
Mike and wait, look at John running at Dalavan's time.
No, they're exactly the same. I was gonna say. Sorry, go ahead.
Last time we saw a timing thing like that, Michael Schumacher was driving.
I was gonna say I thought I figured out what Hondax's problem earlier in the race was, but looks like he's got it a little bit better. But he's still very not safe to Kevin, or did I say Kevin? Kev.
How much of a penalty does he have? Oh, no penalty.
Yeah, and what I mean is he's still losing time to Kev, who's catching up to him.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, oh no, something's happened to Johnny. He's fallen all the way back to Dalavan's clutches. Oh, and in the background, was that Audi going wide? That was an Audi going wide, wasn't it? It was Kaz. Kaz is actually falling behind Joan while that's happening. UV has a penalty now? Jeez. Okay, so, alright. So something happened to Johnny, because he's falling all the way back down. He's actually got front damage too. So Johnny definitely collided with somebody. Toby is now up into 7th. Joe is into 8th, and Kaz has fallen down to 9th. And Kaz is now pitted, so he's gonna fall behind Jukebox and possibly Razy again.
That's gonna be
definitely. Yeah. Now, if Dalavan didn't have his penalty, this would be a very crucial situation, but Mike is actually still very much in this. He's actually right there in the background. It's only 4 minutes to go.
1 second of Johnny, which I don't think will happen, but there's every possibility.
Yeah. Hondax, he's in 4th, he's 20 seconds back, but now that Dalavan has caught up to Johnny, anything is now possible. Dalavan has to pass Johnny and break 9 seconds, because that's the time. 4 minutes remaining. It's now become a almost light and death scenario. He was also fast to pass. Somehow I knew this wasn't going to end peacefully. Shut up.
pulling out all the
somehow Dalavan has to pass Johnny in 39 seconds within roughly 2 laps. Can he do it? Who knows? Is Mike gonna be able to catch up? Who knows? Mike, he's got Toby in front of him, so Mike still has one more lap car to pass before he catches these two.
next lap is last lap. So.
While all this is happening, Hondax is actually falling to Kev, and Kev is falling close to Bowie, so there's a lot of battles happening right now. Nothing has been decided just yet.
Oh, you can take Kev.
Well, let's check the time. Let's check the time penalties one last time before it's all decided. Kev has actually caught up to Hondax now. I think it'll be inevitable until he passes him for 4th place. Meanwhile, Johnny just has to hold Dalavan at bay. Well, he's got a bit of a bigger problem with Mike, as Kev does pass Hondax for 4th place. And Valley, I think, has had an accident because he's now far away from these two. He's fallen way far back. Well, this is now we're now onto the final lap. So as it stands now, I don't think Dalavan can win. Although Mike is only right there in the background, he did take tires compared to these two, so definitely still all to play for. Kev did get ahead of Hondax, although they're still close together. Where's Dalavan hits the wall there up the S's, really pushing the car. And also, so Joe can actually still pass Toby if he keeps up that pace. There's still a lot of positions that haven't been decided just yet. After 34 laps, it's been a very dominant performance from Johnny. He's pretty much led from start to finish.
Almost flawless from what we've seen.
We thought he was going to be contender at Alton Park. We also thought he was going to be contender at Long Beach, but it looks like he's finally been able to put the whole thing together. Pole so far, can he actually cap it off? That's Mike right there. Dalavan is not going to win this race at any point. It looks like he will finish 3rd due to Kev's time. It looks like Johnny is just going to make it.
Yeah, I think Dalavan's like big crash.
Indeed, down to the last corner. It has been a flawless performance from Johnny, as he will take the win and the first victory for McLaren. Mike is across the line 2nd, Dalavan is 3rd, and that's been the Watkins Glen GP. You know, behind them, Kev and Hondax still battling for 4th and 5th. It looks like the Audi will prevail over the Mercedes. So Kev putting another mark in his... Well, actually, he's going to put himself back in the championship fight, though. Hondax still not able to get the podium I'm sure he was looking for. Bowie, an impressive recovery from last to finish 6th. And Obi as well. Also, looks like he'll finish 7th, so a pretty decent run from him, as well as from Joe. He's finished 8th, Jukebox 9th. Crazy all the way down in 10th, just another race to forget from them. UV down in 11th after his incident. Kaz finishing 12th after having multiple incidents. And Daza finishing 13th in this race.
Actually scoring the first points for Porsche.
Well, one step at a time, you know.
You know, to finish first, you first have to finish.
Still, it came all the way down to the end. I mean, what could have been if Donovan didn't get that time penalty?
I think it would have been actually a lot more exciting than Delavan pushing everything to get in front of Johnny. Oh,
There you
the
go.
bumper cars again there.
There you have it. It is Johnny, your winner, followed by Mike in second and Donovan in third, followed by Kev, Hondax, Bowie, Toby, Joe, Jukebox, Razy, UV, Kaz, and Daza, and then two DNFs, I believe, were Ruber and Flip. This or DNSs, not DNFs.
Actually, I think this is the first race we've had where there isn't a DNF.
On a technicality.
On a technicality that the other two didn't start, yes.
Only 6 cars in the lead lap too, which is pretty interesting. Actually, I just noticed that Bowie has 35 seconds worth of penalties. Well, consider himself lucky he was the last in the lead lap.
Yeah.
But yes, so what an interesting race now. I think that makes 4 different manufacturers and several or 3 different winners.
Also, the first race where we didn't have the commentators cursed.
Or maybe it's the other way around. I think it's because you have Audi, Cadillac, Nissan, and now McLaren.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who do you think was your driver of the day?
This was hard because I think this is a hard race to do that with because there wasn't really, I guess you could say, a standout driver. Everyone was really just pushing their hardest. I mean, in terms of strategy, I'd probably say Mike because if he didn't get tires, he wouldn't have been able to push as hard as he was and get as close as he could. I mean, look there, he's only 2 seconds off of Johnny, you know? From,
Also,
yeah.
for those of you wondering, Kaz actually had the fastest time at the 1:44.3, so it actually wasn't the perfect weekend for Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny's not too far off from that time though, so
Yeah.
Johnny did pretty well from his part as well.
Go on, you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of strategy, it would probably be Mike. In terms of mistakes, I'd say Johnny because he was the only one. Yeah, we don't know what happened to him. I think he had a small spin somewhere, but it didn't really compromise his race in any way. He could still, win the race.
Right,
In
right.
terms of positions gained, then it's Bowie because 13th to 6th, he's halved his position count. So
Yeah. I can't really say I have a particular favorite this race. I think I'm just gonna have to go off the stats like you said. But either way, it's up to fans to interpret who they think the driver of the day was either way. Um, it's up to you if you think you can even get anybody in for driver interviews. I don't even know
I'll
what
see
you
if I
can
can.
say after that.
I think a couple of drivers might be a bit ashamed, but or not ashamed, but you get what I mean. A bit
Hmm.
embarrassed. There were a couple of silly mistakes here and there, but
Well, we'll see. Stay tuned and we'll see if we can get anybody here. But in terms of the points standings, Kaz will definitely lose the points lead to, I'm gonna say Dalavan, because Mike only finished second in this race, so. But still, Hondax with his consistent performance will kind of keep him in there. And Kev as well. Kev kind of had a quiet race, so despite finishing 4th, he's still going to put himself in the championship.
I mean, you know, as long as you're, you know, you're near the top every single race. You know, it doesn't matter if you've won 3 races, but the rest of the season, you know, you're in 10th around there. So you keep making mistakes, and as long as you're consistent, it can win you the championship.
Oh, Kev, Toby, and Bowie said they are interested.
Uh-oh. Shall I suggest them real quick?
Why not?
Bowie... Who's it all? Toby?
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm the host this time, so... Let's see... I see. Alright, well, we'll see. We can get them in and we'll see what happens.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Hello.
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 How are you guys?
Good, and you?
I'm fine. I'm really happy, to be honest, for that race.
It
mean,
was a hell of a race.
I gained 7 positions that race, and I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would have gotten the most positions gained award.
Most of them after lap 1.
Yeah,
Hello. Sorry, I've only just fully loaded into the party.
that's fine.
You haven't missed any of them. They're not asking us questions yet, so...
That was a good race. That was an interesting race. I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun.
So, how was the race in your guys' perspectives if we go down the party order? Bowie?
It was interesting. That's one word to put it. I mean, I had a pretty decent start, like I said. I got out of the accidents, fortunately. I saw some people crash in front of me and was able to counter on it. I gained some positions, had some fun battles with a few guys along the way. Had to pit for extra tires. We were running the softs and the tires were just dead at that point. So lost a bit of time because of it. But for the rest, pretty fun race, yeah.
And then Toby?
Yeah, I mean, I was very happy with 7th, I have to be honest. I felt like I had some pace, but definitely not at the pace of Barry or Kev, or the leaders. Yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed it. A couple of incidents. Jukebox unfortunately braked a lot earlier than I was expecting, and I braked really hard to avoid him. And then I think Razy hit the back of me. Oh no, maybe he didn't. Maybe I think he had to avoid. That was unfortunate. I always hate being responsible for somebody else. Not that I really was. I just I had to react to the way Jukebox was braking. But yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it.
And Kev?
Yeah, in qualifying, I had my lap time invalidated, and as well as my last lap time. So I started 7th. I don't know who it was, but there was someone missing behind me, and that gave a lot of room into the turn 1. I came through, I saw Racy go off to the left, gained a position through that, and then at a certain moment I spun and then got behind Hondact, and then Cass was on the inside, just standing there, probably spun out or something, and I went for the outside, and exactly at that moment he backed up, so I ran into him, got 45 aero damage at the front. I had to pit instantly, and somehow I still managed to get in front of Bowie after my pit stop. And Hondax was really slow at the end. It was an easy position gained. I had a lot of fun tonight.
So there were definitely a lot of incidents. Maybe you guys didn't see it, but we kind of caught a lot of them. But what part of Watkins Glen do you think is the hardest part, considering, well, where all the incidents seem to happen? They're definitely spread out.
I think for me personally, it was the chicane. It was quite difficult to get it right.
Yeah, for me too. Yeah, bus stop. My car was really loose at the bus stop, and I think some other guys had the same problem, and it's fun because of it.
For me, it was the one two after the chicane, the left-hander there. I can't remember what it's called, but I was struggling to get the car slowed down consistently there. But yeah, I didn't find the chicane too bad, I have to admit. Maybe it's just because I was going through it slower. Yeah, no, it's good. So where were the incidents then that you saw?
Razy and Kaz had an incident in turn 1. Bowie had a few incidents in sector 3 off the left hander, the uphill.
Yeah, that's also the very difficult one for the Nissan. Yeah,
I think.
Especially with the turbo just kicking in, the grip was just not there, so a little bit too much speed and you just throw it around there.
Yeah, I think Dalavan and UV hit the wall off the final turn at different intervals.
Bowie did that as well.
Yep.
UV spun out of the bus stop.
Done that also, yeah.
I think the only place there wasn't an incident was going uphill in the first sector.
Oh, you definitely didn't see me then. There's a little bit of grass going into the left-hander going uphill. Well, I've definitely seen that part a few times.
But, I mean, other than that, everyone still made it through relatively okay.
Yeah. Sounds like an eventful race.
Yeah.
I mean, you all kind of got spread out pretty quickly, but everything kind of kicked off at the end again.
Yeah.
Usually.
I was really surprised I managed to get past Kaz. I think it was Kaz and Razy right at the end. Where I think they just had an incident. And
yeah, Kaz and Razy had an incident, and then Hondax, I think, was nursing a problem.
Yeah, Hondax was really slow at the end.
I had damage in the first stint. I can't remember who I had contact with. It was during. I was trying to avoid. I can't remember, if I'm honest. But yeah, I had a bit of damage. But yeah, it wasn't too bad, and I decided to carry on with my strategy and just try and eke it out as best I could.
Yeah.
But I was definitely much faster in the second stint.
Right. Well,
I was closing in on Kev and Honda in the end, but I had a 35-second penalty, so it wasn't worth it anymore.
Yeah. I'm not even sure how you got that penalty.
I don't either, to be honest.
Yeah, it sometimes does that when you go a bit off the track and then...
Yeah, just a little bit wide, lose time, and the game still thinks that you're cutting the track somehow. So, I guess that happened. And
it's mostly if then you go too far on the outside at the end of the corner.
Yeah.
Well, with the lack of motorsports, you guys are definitely the little entertainment that we have, so we're definitely thankful that you all could be here to race and, generally just be available during this time. I'm pretty sure it's difficult for each of you.
It's not the most fun times at the moment, no. But it's the most important part to just stay at home, stay safe, keep each other just a little bit of distance.
1.5 meters.
And to everybody who is running, or who is working at the moment in health services, emergency services, food industries, Yeah, it's yeah,
It's a difficult time.
You're
yeah,
doing
very
God's
much so.
work.
I guess one last question. So, now that the McLaren has won, that makes it I'm pretty sure the 4th different manufacturer to win. So, I think the only question is, when do you think some of the other guys are going to start to break out?
I
Well,
don't know.
for me,
That's a
I'm
good
hoping next
question.
race.
I mean, the Nissan has already won the last time around Long Beach, and that was me, fortunately. But
Yeah, but
I
you
think the
didn't
guys
get
up front
points.
that are now driving, then I guess it's just the guys up front that are going to battle for the wins. To be honest, I mean,
I think-
Delavan and the other ones, they were just driving up front like crazy. Especially Delavan, he pretty much
Yeah.
surprised me, to be honest, with his pace. Really great stuff.
Yeah, because
I think different tracks suit different cars, and that has surprised me this season. Is how differently the cars drive at each of the tracks.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've yet to get to a Genettas course, but yeah.
Well, I think the Rio Puna was a bit of a Genettas course.
Yeah.
well, we all saw how that ended.
I mean, Flip
Yeah.
did pretty okay there. I mean, his comeback was really good there.
Yeah. But actually, I'll leave the question to you. Who do you think will win next week, or do good next week?
Next week at Imola. Fun track.
Imola, that's pretty good. I think that's another track where the high-speed cars are going to be very good at, but also the corner parts are the parts where the other cars are going to be fast at. So it's gonna be
Especially the chicanes.
yeah,
Well, thank you once again for all your insight and, just a general thank you to everyone in general.
And thank you very much for having us,
Yeah.
yeah.
and also for your great commentary as usual.
Yeah.
We always try. Sometimes I wish I could be racing myself.
Your words, not ours.
Well, it's always fun to watch from the angles, but then when you actually get into it,
That is definitely true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we'll just sign off like this then, so thank you all for watching once again. Next week we will be at Imola, so I have been Cypher Knight 77,
I've been Dutch Muso.
I'm Bowie.
Kev.
And Toby,
and like I said, we'll see you all next week, so stay safe and have a pleasant weekend.